at the crown above 50 Bowery in Lower Manhattan in New York City, and it's one of the many great rooftop bars of the area. Here with me today is Adam, the chief concierge. And Adam, we talk about rooftop bars in New York, and like we said, this is one of the best.
In my opinion, it's the best. I mean, I've been to all of them, Midtown, downtown, all around. No one has the view almost 360 degrees around Manhattan that we do. And in Chinatown, a lot of the buildings are low, so there's nothing blocking it.
Yeah, the view up towards Midtown is pretty amazing, isn't it? Because there's not many skyscrapers. You've got this kind of very flat view, and then it just picks up.
It just gradually goes up to that kind of classic New York City skyline with the Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building. And so when people come to New York, that's what they want to see.
Yeah, and it's not a lot of tourists down here. It's a very local part of Manhattan, isn't it?
It certainly is, yeah, and that's kind of why we love it. The clientele that comes down here has maybe stayed in Midtown before and then realizes that New York City isn't just Midtown. It's not just the Empire State Building. It's downtown too, where there's a lot of more local flavor.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because there are parts of the city that are very built up, and down here, you know, it's a little bit busy, but it doesn't feel hectic.
No, it's downtown Manhattan, and so it's diverse, and yeah, it's much more local. A lot more New Yorkers live down here.
So if I'm looking for a few great bars to go to, where do you recommend?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can start right here and see the view and enjoy the sunset. But in the neighborhood, there's quite a lot. Chinatown's come a long way over the past 5 or 6 years, and so there's a lot of local places, there's a lot more posh places, high-end places, but we're so close to Lower East Side, Soho, Nolita, Tribeca, which opens up a lot more possibilities. Chinese Tuxedo and Peachy's is so close. Next door to Apothec, the apothecary-themed theme bar that's kind of semi-hidden there on Doyers, as well as local places like Whiskey Tavern and Figure 19, and you know, it's a good mix.
It's one of those cities where there's another street, there's another bar almost around here.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, downtown when you're here, and sometimes if you don't know where to look, you might miss it. You might walk right by the ship. There's no sign. When you go down, it opens up into this huge subterranean cocktail bar.
And if you look at on the restaurant scene, where would you send me?
Ooh, there's so much down here too. So in Chinatown, there's traditional and there's contemporary, and there's quite a bit through there. And so Chinese Tuxedo that I mentioned and Hua Yuan are both kind of on the contemporary spectrum. And then places like Oriental Garden, Mei Li Hua, or Golden Unicorn are all places that are classic, authentic, and really fantastic.
Yeah, and Canal Street's very convenient. You can get anywhere here from a subway. So if I want to go and check out a few galleries or museums, where would you send me? Definitely
into the Lower East Side. That's kind of become the arts neighborhood, where it was Soho for so long, and then it was Chelsea for so long. A lot of the galleries still exist there, but a lot of them come to the Lower East Side. So within a six block radius, there's probably 80 galleries along Orchard Street mainly. Do you have a few favorites that you recommend? As far as galleries, yeah, there's definitely a few that I love through there. Well, the new museum is right on Bowery here, across the street from the International Center of Photography. Yeah, quite a few that are littered right through there. Spurrow and Westwater, one of my favorites, yeah.
Fashion standpoint, what's good?
Yeah, I mean, you're so close to Soho. Along Broadway is where you kind of find a lot of the bigger flagship stores, but then Nolita and West Soho, as well as the Lower East Side along Orchard Street, you find so many little boutiques like by Robert James and Yumi Kim. These are, you can't find these kind of things anywhere else. And so yeah, that's what I really love about downtown. You're not going to find this stuff in Midtown. You're not going to find it anywhere else in the world.
It's very convenient, right? So you've got places like Westfield at the World Trade Center, which is only a 5-minute drive from here as well.
Exactly, yeah. And so that's a huge new mall that has opened up at the World Trade Center. And so if you need your all-inclusive kind of shopping experience inside, there's that. If you want to walk around on a beautiful day, you can do that through Nolita and Soho and Lower East Side.
A few more fun things. Obviously, Brooklyn's just across the river over here. You've got places like the Brooklyn Brewery, which is a great spot to go to.
Amazing. And you mentioned breweries. There's so many craft brewers that have opened in Brooklyn over the past 10 years or so. Three's Brewing is an amazing place. Other Half, and so many more. So yeah, it's nice to be really close, within striking distance of Brooklyn.
Yeah, a few more fun things you can do in Brooklyn. Obviously, there's walking tours, there's bike tours, and things like Smorgasburg as well.
Sure, yeah, a lot. In the nice weather, they do a great job with the food fairs and flea markets that are there. Brooklyn Bridge Park, they did a beautiful job with. So from there, you get an amazing view of the Brooklyn Bridge, the Manhattan Bridge, and of course Manhattan just across the river. The Brooklyn Museum, which is near Prospect Park, is beautiful. A little farther than that, Coney Island and beyond.
And if you look at what else you can do around here, obviously one of the big things people come to New York for is the pizza. Where do I get pizza from?
Prince Street Pizza, in my mind, and I know you're going to find 10 different opinions across everybody in New York, but you can't go wrong with Prince Street Pizza. It's such a little tiny place that there's nowhere to sit in there, but once you walk in, you'll understand it's all pictures of celebs eating pizza in there, and the spicy spring is the spicy pepperoni square slice they do that's very famous. So yeah, I would definitely send you there first.
Sounds pretty good. It's quite a challenge on the pizza front. If I said a good cup of coffee, I know a few places like Cafe Dante. Where else would you go to?
Roasting Plant is my favorite that's close to here. It's right here on Orchard Street. They have these pneumatic tubes that go up and across. When you order a coffee, you can actually see your beans flying from one end of the roaster across the ceiling and down, ground up and into your coffee. Yeah, amazing.
One of those things about a concierge is people are going to come up with some random questions and experiences they want to go and do. What's a fun story recently?
Sure. Ooh, I did have a gentleman recently who asked if I could arrange not just a helicopter tour for him or where he can bungee jump in the city, but where he can bungee jump out of a helicopter over New York City, which unfortunately is not available. But you know, called all my favors in to try to figure that one out.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your little guide here to a great part of New York.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. See you soon.